The remarkable entrepreneurs who were part of the panel, nobody was smiling, thinking it is a joke or it's a funny thing by the end of the session. In fact, Adib made the statement, why are we thinking of only 1 trillion? We should be thinking of 2 trillion. I mean, that was the energy in that session. So my point here is, if you're thinking about the future, we have to realize it's very important that we realize Kerala can become a $1 trillion economy by 2047 only if it looks out. You cannot think of becoming a $1 trillion economy by just looking inside. Now, most of the successful businesses in Kerala are businesses whose market is all India or global. That's very interesting, and it's not just a coincidence. We have a similarity. Kerala has a very strong similarity to Taiwan. That's the country I always prefer to look at. It's a very limited land area, a big population, and the land area also is mostly dominated by a mountainous forested zone, leaving very little coastal area for human habitation and for industry. But with such, and no natural resources in the form of iron ore and other things. Now, with such limitations, look at what Taiwan has built there. Why can't Kerala do that? I'm sure Kerala can. And Kerala is going to do that. But the point is, we have to think of the bigger world outside and our connections with the bigger world outside, and how trade is going to flow from Kerala, from outside to Kerala and from Kerala to the outside. Why I'm saying all this is, I don't think most of us in Kerala understand the importance of the Vizhinjam deep water container terminal. We are not fully appreciating the fact that we have one of the greatest natural gifts which nature has given to Kerala, of this port with a natural draft of 22 meters, where the world's biggest container ships have already come, dropped boxes, picked up boxes, and very happy with their experience. Now, so we have to factor this in. This has to become a very central part of our planning. Our exporters and our manufacturers in Kerala must all factor in this amazing connectivity which is available for the freight. Then what about people? We've got 4 international airports. I think not too long back there were people making sarcastic comments about Kerala, saying, why do you need so many international airports? But Kerala has one large urban continuum, 500 kilometers long and 50 kilometers wide. It definitely needs 4 international airports which have good connectivity. So here is an international port, one of the best in the Indian Ocean rim, already commissioned and ready to go. 4 international airports, we have to work on that. We have to work on our internal connectivity, etc. So the whole idea, I'm just framing this is, so from here, with this framing, I will now take my seat and hand over, hopefully, to my panelists to take us through their vision of this. So just give me a minute.
Good afternoon. Today, Kerala's economy is close to US dollars 157.45. It's the 11th largest economy in India. And I'm from the spice industry, basically. So I could give some figures that the Spices Board has given is about 25 billion US dollars in 2047. And from the perspective of Synthite as a company, we had a business of 3 crores in 1999 in the Indian market. Today it is 1,600 crores. So there's a potential for growth in that area too. And yesterday Gadkari was talking about the infrastructure developments. That's amazing. If it comes in, the basic problem with most of the problem that we are facing is the infrastructure, because the travel time to Trivandrum. So once all this comes in, I don't know what is going to happen. It's going to be a big miracle that's going to happen for Kerala. And that's what I...
Thank you, Viju. Vinod, could you just give your sort of, I mean, I'll go one round and then after that we can get into specific. On the same issue of how ready is Kerala in terms of getting infrastructure. We heard what Mr. Gadkari said about the highway investments which are happening. I mentioned about the port and airports, etc. Is there more that we need to do? Or are we doing enough? Or if we are not doing enough, what are those areas?
Yeah. So just like Mr. Viju said, we need to do a lot, okay? Because like you rightly said in your opening remarks, when you talk about a 1 trillion economy, the kind of infrastructure that is required is really, really high. It's good that yesterday during the inaugural session, Mr. Nitin Gadkari mentioned about the road development that is going to come. And Mr. Adani also mentioned about the port and the airport that is going to happen in Trivandrum. But these are just dipsticks, what is there. But this is not enough. Here, I would suggest look at a larger picture. Now we have this Gadi Shakti, where it talks about everything under the ground, on the ground, above the ground. Do a blueprint for Kerala. Here we do, master plan city-wise. So if you want to be prepared, you have to consider Kerala as one large city and do a blueprint and work towards the blueprint. It might take time. It is a long haul, but today we look at, doing one small bypass to avoid the traffic, doing one flyover. That is not enough to be future ready. Thank you.
Thank you. Thomas, over to you on the same issue. What are those things as a manufacturer, as an exporter, and you got extensive connections with both the national and international markets. What are those perceptions which you have today of, is there anything we are missing today? What are the most top 1 or 2 priorities which we need to focus on in Kerala to get the infrastructure ready so that we become future ready and are able to look at $1 trillion economy?
Yeah, good afternoon and thanks for giving me this opportunity. For medical device industry, I think considering the growth and everything, I am very sure that Kerala may not be 1 trillion, even more than 1 trillion, because I have some records. Now today, medical device industry in India is about 11 billion. And Kerala is giving out of that about 15% is coming from Kerala. So now 2047, that 11 billion is predicted to become about 50 billion. So 50 billion, again, if you keep the same percentage of 15%, that itself is quite good number. So about 7.5 billion. But now today, from 7.5 billion to part of the Kerala's economy by medical device, definitely I would say that there are 2-3 things are required. One is that there should be a focus, because medical device is something connected to the healthcare. So very, very focused approach on the innovation and infrastructure. Innovation, definitely, that should come from the industry and from the educational institutions. Infrastructure, if government can provide the proper infrastructure, I'm happy that under the leadership of our Honorable CM and very dynamic industry minister and other ministers, definitely that is happening. I'm sure that this 1 trillion economy is possible, even much more.
Thank you. So here we looked at the broad economic growth aspect of how future ready are we. But life is not only about economic growth. We also want quality of life. In fact, one of the things which made Kerala an outlier has been the fact that unlike many of the other states, most of the other states, Kerala put a lot of importance on human resources development by focusing on education, healthcare, and social welfare. So to quickly move from the economic parameter to social development, in the first session which I gave a keynote, and then it was followed by a very insightful panel discussion. V.K. Matthews mentioned one thing, which I feel is worth for us to consider here. So I just want your individual reactions. He said, what Kerala should really focus on, because we have the resources, The market is out there. Of course, we have to create the physical infrastructure and do all that. But above all, he said, is we must make Kerala a great place to work, to live in and to work in and to work from. So he said for that, he spoke about safety in the sense, not just physical safety, but he was talking about safe environment, safe water, good healthcare, good local communities to live in, etc. So it's a great place where people, not only Keralites will want to come back to Kerala and work from Kerala, but others will want to come to this state and work in this state. Taking that perspective, what more do you feel, or what are those things which we should do in Kerala to make our towns, cities and villages great places to work in? What are those areas where there are deficiencies, like, for instance, garbage, waste removal and other things like that? Which are those areas which we should focus on to see that it becomes a great place to work in and work from? Biju.
Today, the employment is, you could see that a lot of youngsters leaving out of Kerala. But that can be stopped out of this investment, when the investment Kerala comes in. A lot of investment comes into Kerala, and we can get good talents. Basically, Kerala has got good talents here. So the talents will come back and see, and the growth will be definitely a greater thing. At the same time, along with that, the food safety. If you look at Kerala, I think every day every day new restaurants are coming up. So the food, Kerala is basically our foodies. So a lot of food restaurants are coming up, and it's growing very well. In every nook and corner, you can see a lot of restaurants. So it is not like earlier. And at the same time, the hygiene part, the water, and the climatic condition is favorable for Kerala. And the resorts, and if you look at the tourism has to, again, to improve a bit on the water frontage. Like, we are not utilizing our resources like water, no water sports or anything like that because of some other reasons. But those things has to be resolved.
Thank you. Vinod, could you comment on this, and very specifically also, for example, how could our cities and towns and habitations become healthier and better places to work in? What are those things which are we doing enough as a society and from the government perspective, as well as from the citizen community perspective?
Yeah, so to answer this question, I'll talk from the CI's point of view. So here, we have been aligning with the Industries Minister, where we say that nature first, then people, then industry. Because in a place like Kerala, where the people are very sensitive, and we have a fragile system, we have to be cognizant of how we are. And by and far, we are people who hygiene standards are very high, and we would love to have our environment clean and safe, by and far. And it is a fact, it is still safe and clean, but much more can be done. So here, from CI's point of view, we look at, having PPP model on garbage collection, train from the students at student level, make it aware. Why is that a Malayali that goes to the Gulf keeps Dubai clean? The same Malayali comes here. So there's a cultural change that is required, and it has to. We all should work hand in hand for that.
Thank you. Thomas, on the same matter of making this a good place to live in and work in, please also just touch upon, if you can, and it's open to the others also after Thomas speaks, is, Kerala has been prone to some very quite unexpected natural disasters which have happened, climate connected and otherwise. And what kind of resilience do we need to build into our communities? Because you can't prevent many of these. Then you have to just be able to face it and recover from it. So resilience is what we need to build. What are your suggestions?
See, according to me, initially, first 10 years, we were operating from Bombay. Then we have come to this.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's my pleasure to bring on stage two more panelists to join this esteemed panel on stage. Dr. A. Jayatilak, IAS, Additional Chief Secretary for Finance. Hearty welcome on stage, sir. And of course, Shri APM Mohammed Hanish IAS, Principal Secretary for Industries, to give us the perspectives from the other side. We have industry veterans here. Let's hear also what's from the state.
So anyway, we'll just Thomas will speak, and then after that I'll bring the other two who have just joined.
First 10 years we were operating from Bombay, and 2005 we came here. One of the main reasons for coming here, we have seen the quality of water, because one of the main raw material for our product is water. So main raw material. So the quality of water. And last 20 years, we have many international associations. They all were praising about Kerala is the air quality. Because the people who came first to Delhi, to Bombay, to here, they understand that, they are from the furnace to, heaven, that sort of difference. So I would say that we have that natural advantage. Now today, definitely this, we are going through a massive improvements in the construction of big roads and everything. I think a couple of years, things will be totally changed, and that is good enough for taking to the 1 trillion.
Thank you. So now I just would like to introduce both Jayatilak, who is the Additional Chief Secretary and in charge of Finance, and Mr. Mohammed Hanish, who is the Principal Secretary, Industry, and one of the moving figures behind this whole event, which we are all attending here. So I would like to, on the same issue which we were discussing, which is how do, getting Kerala ready for a $1 trillion economy and for rapid growth, which is going to happen by 2047, one of the aspects we need to look at was an issue which was addressed by V.K. Matthews on the first day yesterday, where he said, we must make Kerala a great place to work in, work from. Now, that has it's a multidimensional concept. But one of those aspects which we are trying to deal with here is, how do we build resilience into the community, into the state, so that we can face natural disasters and climate-related things which are going to become part of life as we go forward. What steps are being taken and need to be taken to make Kerala more resilient as a society to face these problems? Can I request Mr. Jayatilak to start?
That's a very pertinent point, because as you're aware, Kerala is a very thin strip of land. The density of population in our coastal areas is the highest in the country, more than 2,000 per square kilometers. On one hand, we have the coastal region, and on the eastern side, we have the Western Ghats, where we have the Forest Conservation Act. We can't have a huge population settling there. So the entire population has to settle in the Midlands. Now, what do we do when disasters strike? The best example is what happened in 2018. The response Kerala showed is now noted as a global benchmark in terms of how the community responded. Unlike in many other places where you wait for the government to move in, it is the community which rose to the occasion. They were the first responders, and because of the active engagement of the community in the local self-government system that has been followed in Kerala since 1999, the community has been trained in responding to any emergency of this sort. They have also been provided with professional training, professional inputs, equipment, even at the lowest level of tier of government. So I think one of the great success stories of Kerala is how the proper community engagement has ensured strength and resilience in the system to deal with any disaster.
Mr. Hanish, I want to ask you, one of the areas which we touched upon earlier by the other speakers, but I would like to hear as a senior representative of government, what I'm sure you'll have very valuable insights, is how to make our habitations, living areas, towns, cities and villages more pleasant places to work in and work from, in terms of simple things like provision of municipal services, including water supply, safe water supply, good garbage removal, good clean surroundings, etc. What are the steps being taken? Are they adequate? Do we need to do much more?
First and foremost, it's about the social responsibility that comes in as a result of our living in cities and towns. The water supply, the sewers, the discharge of effluents, and the septage treatment, which are basic requisites or rather non-negotiable factors as far as the cleanliness of the city is concerned. Certainly, quite a lot of steps have been taken in this regard. But more than that, it has also been about the kind of decentralized approach that has been put forth, apart from the best possible technology that's being used to treat with the waste. The second element is about the transportation facility. The multi-modular transportation, the models or the systems that are put in place, these are the ones which entail, which take into account lesser deal of pollution, faster transportation, fuel efficiency, and savings in terms of time. Now for this, light metros are certainly not the only answer as such, because the last mile connectivity is also quite important. So it's about the kind of integration of the different modes of transportation. Then about the social infrastructure that's to be brought about. Schools, colleges, hospitals, clubs, entertainment centers, they have to grow in numbers. So it's ultimately about the social, the kind of work and private life balance that's to be brought about. I think with the steps that's being taken by the government, some of the NGOs, and also the citizen communities together, which will ultimately provide the answer for such a huge metropolis called Kerala.
Thank you. To continue on that theme for a couple more minutes is, Kerala has a dense population with very limited space for agricultural activities, for habitation, and for every other industrial purposes, etc. We have a limited amount of land which is available. So we need to utilize that very efficiently. Is our present approach towards town and country planning in terms of the, say for instance, should we go for more vertical housing to utilize the land more efficiently because of the fact that we have a severe limitation of land? So should we not look at things like, for instance, public transportation? When our, Kerala has the highest automobile penetration and automobile density in the country, with I think 1 in 4 households owning an automobile. So with this kind of thing, that is not sustainable if we go forward on that track. As affluence comes in, as prosperity grows, we need to find other solutions like better public transportation and, like I said, vertical housing, even industrial estates, etc., utilizing less land and all. So just to come back to, we have a dispersed form of urbanization without any massive urban concentration. As Mr. Mohammad Hanish said, it is one long urban area, 500 kilometers long and 50 kilometers wide. How do we utilize that better? Is there something more we need to do in terms of stressing public transportation, better highways, more mass transit schemes? What is it that we can do? Viju Jacob.
Today we can see our CL airport. A lot of traffic is coming into CL airport. So we can make easy transportation to, like train going straight to there. I think they have taken a decision of having a station there in the airport. Like that, like even the suburb areas, there are a lot of places still to be improved in the roads, the bigger roads, to have a good connectivity among the other business areas. And today we can see Viljam Port is massive. I've been there, and I would say it's one of the high technology used port, and I was amazing the way which they have done this Viljam Port. At the same time, it has taken the same decision like PPP, public-private participation, like CL. They have done it with the Viljam Port also. So it's a great achievement, definitely. Like these achievements, we need to have a lot of growth in other sectors in the transportation, more electrical cars and things like that. So we need to have sustainable growth in every area.
Thank you, Viju. Vinod, could you comment on this?
Yeah, just to add on to
CII, I'm sure, already has a lot of reflections on this.
Yes, yes. So what we've been working is like, see, if you look at other countries, waterways is used rampantly. Unfortunately, we have very good backwaters and coastal line, but we have not tapped that well. So like how CIL PPP model came, if PPP model can come into that, a lot of investment can come. I'm sure people will embrace it. If you look at the water metro, look at how people are embracing it. You look at the Vande Bharat. Now, for me, I stay in Cochin, but my hometown is Thrissur. On a weekend to go to Thrissur today takes around 2.5 hours on a weekend. In Vande Bharat, you are there 1 hour. So I think we need to have high quality, efficient systems. I'm sure people will embrace it.
Yeah. You know, in fact, just before I go to Thomas, somebody gave a very nice definition of what is the difference between a developed country and a developing country. And the definition was, in a developed country, even the affluent use public transportation. So, to you, Thomas.
I always compare Kerala with Japan because we have a lot of connections and collaborations, even density and the population, everything. So, infrastructure side, I think we can always think about multi-level roads, multi-level transport systems, and using even water metros or water transports. And when it comes to the industry side, I think because of the unavailability of enough space, I think cluster systems we should involve. Because now, if everybody is planning to start his own company or factory, it's require a lot of spaces and everything. I think cluster can reduce a lot of the public space and maximum utilization. These are the two things according to me.
Thank you, Thomas. So, over to you, Jayatilak. The same issue of land use for various economic uses, including habitation. Your thoughts on?
As we noted earlier, we don't have land in the coastal area because of the coastal regulation zone. We don't have land in the hill ranges because of the forests. We have only the midland. And we are thinking of doing vertical development. Now, vertical need not just be going upwards. We should be really thinking of going downwards too. Subterranean development is also possible here. All over the world, we have parking centers, you have shopping malls, you have roads underground. So it's just that we have this mental block saying that the water table may be quite high, we may not be able to build underneath. But countries very similar to us have done that. So I think we have recently asked the World Bank to actually look at possibility of subterranean development in Kerala. For example, the Central Stadium in Trivandrum. If you have the parking lot underneath, that will solve the entire problems of parking in the Secretariat. So we have the Palika Bazaar in Delhi which has done that. So what prevents us from looking underground? And regarding public transport, as Finance Secretary, I'm happy that people are buying cars because about 1/3 of our GST comes from the automobile sector. But consciously we have decided to reduce the taxation on stage carriers. So every year we are reducing the tax by 10% so that more and more buses are viable. So.
Thank you. So I think we'll have one more round and we'll try to give, I'm sure this will be a subject on which there will be questions from the House. So it will be good if we can give a few minutes so that we can gather a few questions and then the panel can try and answer. So this one comes to what is the role which here, because I think a lot of the preceding sessions have been about technology. Now, the buzzword now is thanks to DeepSeek and what they did is AI. Everybody, so the whole idea is technology is seen as an enabler to be able to overcome other resource constraints. So how can, in your view, how do you think technology can help Kerala prepare better for the future, for this enormous growth which is going to happen across the world, and Kerala is also going to be growing? How can technology equip us to be better prepared for that? Viju?
See, today, without technology and without the growth, we will not be able to grow further. Because I could see when we put up a robotic plant in Synthite, we could exit about 20 employees from the same plant, and accuracy is 100%, better than human blending. So technology has to come because AI is one of the big thing happening today in all over the world, and people are talking about that. And recently, Modi ji had been to France to talk about the AI. He inaugurated the function, and that AI has been held up with throughout the world. People are looking at AI transformation. So at the same time, people are concerned about the AI in different aspects, like whether it will dilute the human intervention and things like that. So.
Vinod, I'm sure in CII there must have been a lot of discussion on use of technology in making societies and communities more resilient for facing the future. Can you share those thoughts with us?
Yes. So in CII, we have this Center of Excellence where we have special Center of Excellence on technology, how to empower industries to be ahead of the curve. Because if today, if you do not get onto technology, bringing, like he said, AI and robotics into the system, you cannot be competitive. So that's part and parcel of any industry. And to support that, we have this Center of Excellence, and we're going to launch a new Center of Excellence just for AI alone, apart from having a Startup Center of Excellence to support all the startups into technology.
Thank you. Thomas?
Yeah, as far as the technology is concerned, technology and innovation is the vital things for my business, medical device. Just an example, in 2011, we have brought a new product called MISPI to it's a protein estimations with a technology of nephrometry. Nephrometry is an old technology, but we have reinvented according to the situations, and we brought that in 2011. And during COVID, I think the Kerala-based company was managing about 70% of the India's COVID prognosis. This is just, a clear example of technology. So we are focusing too much on the innovation and technology and spending almost 4.5 to 5% of our revenue for the innovations.
Mr. Hanish, I just want, one of the ways in which a society or a state like Kerala has to gear up for the future is to ensure that our people have the skills and training which will keep us competitive, because we have very few other resources. Our principal resource is people. So there have been discussions about how do we, for instance, instead of seeing AI as a threat, we should make that probably part of the curriculum, etc. I'm sure there's a lot of thinking going on in the industries department and in government. And so over to you to share your thoughts with us.
Firstly, Mayor, I would like to inform the audience here that Kerala has become the first state in the country where the upper primary school teachers and high school teachers have been imparted their skills sets as well as the kind of curriculum which is based on AI training to be imparted to the students. We are the first in the country to do so. Secondly, it's about not just about AI and other high-tech systems that are employed in industry and commerce. We believe in we have already introduced 100 plus contemporary relevant courses which are tuned to the requirements of the industry. Based on the further requirements of the industry and trade, we are ready to customize these courses in university after university, and some of the skill development centers like institutions like the Kerala Academy of Skill Excellence as well as the ASAP. Now, from the perspective of the students and as well as the whole of the state, may I state that it is the future-ready, talented workforce which is the greatest asset of the state. And we would leave no stone unturned to see to it that this objective is realized by introduction of as many courses as possible, which deals with the frontier areas of science and technology, short-term, long-term courses. Apart from that, compulsory internship has been introduced based on credit system as well. This would provide them with the hands-on experience in the various sectors of industry.
I would like to ask Mr. Jayatilak, one aspect which we have to consider as, to be realistic, and the most affluent countries in the world are now being forced to consider since their economies are slowing down, and that is what do we do with the people who get left behind? So what happens is, see, when AI, when technology comes in, certain occupations are going to be affected. There is a transition time while they can learn any new skill and go on to some other job. So the society has to have a mechanism, a safety net by which nobody is left behind. So Kerala has got an enviable record, given its, despite its resource constraints, of over the years having a rights-based approach to economic development. Can you just expand on what are the things which probably we need to do more going forward? Because the cost of failure is also going to go up of those people who drop out. So the bottom of the pyramid, the lower half of the income distribution, how do we ensure that they are protected from the harsh realities of life as we go forward?
You are very right that we have a very enviable track record. And I would say that the way to be future ready in that sense is to do more of the same. Kerala has never ensured that anybody is left behind. But when you say we are future ready, you should be knowing what the future is. And we don't know. Technological change is exponential. We have a tendency of overestimating what will happen in the next 5 years and underestimating what's going to happen in the next 2-3 decades up to 2047. So when we're talking about no one getting left behind, the social security net that we have kept in place should be strengthened, and for which we will need more investment. So one of the purposes of this investment meet is to get in more investment so that the GSDP grows, or taxation grows, and that is the best way to ensure that we can take care of those who need us the most.
Thank you. I think we have about 10 minutes when we can have some questions from the house. Yeah, we can have, but it starts at 3, I think. Anyway, we can have at least 15 minutes of questions. So I hope somebody will distribute the mics around in the audience. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't. Just give them. Are there any mics for the audience?
Can we have a couple of volunteers to pass the mics around? Also, do we have enough cordless mics on the ground? Do we? Yes. We have volunteers here. Where's the mic? The volunteers are here. Can you quickly go get the cordless mics, please?
Please do it quickly. We are
Yes.
wasting time. Yeah.
We also request one volunteer to be on either sides of the hall.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Omar Salim, representing PI. My question is to a CIA representative in the panel. All were focusing on technology, economy. Somebody was telling about $1 trillion economy. Rapid achievement for $1 trillion economy, emerging technology has to happen. That too disruptive, where the monopoly lies with the European Union and Israel and US. How well CIA can come up with a policy, people like us who are staying in that part of the region, to create an ecosystem to achieve that $1 trillion economy by creating a knowledge intelligence platform in our own state, where my file is lying with the CMO, Dr. Abraham sir is handling that. How well CIA can collaborate with us to formulate a platform for them, where the European Union is ready to involve with us, collaborate with us on a cross-border mechanism.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Now, CI, what works is wherever a technology is there, CI gets the expertise from that particular field and joins hands with them and works along with the government. To give you an example, on February 6th, we have our automotive summit on SDV, software design vehicles, where we had the best brands right from Mercedes to BMW to the Indian from Tatas to Mahindras. All of them had come together on one platform, organized by CII, supported by the government, how to create an automotive technology hub, not building automobiles, because we do not have the space for that. But can we take the knowledge part of it? What do you see in your automobile, the infotainment? That is being done in Trivandrum. And in this budget, it has been decided that automotive SDV hub will be created in Trivandrum. to answer your question, if you have anything to be done in Kerala, CI will be happy to handhold. And we work with the government. And especially on ease of doing business, we have been working side by side with ease of doing business, and we got the #1 position. And now we need to sustain it. And what we, tell the government is like, now let's look at speed of doing business. Ease of doing is there, but let's get to the speed of it, which we'll work together to achieve that. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah. Next question. Yeah. Yeah, just go ahead and ask. Yes, please. Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you.
I'm Joseph Abraham, retired government personnel. My question, on this unemployment front in Kerala, we all know, we read from the newspapers, we have a very high rate of unemployment in Kerala, and especially among the youth in the age group of 15 to 29, we have 30% unemployment, labor force participation rate as per the Ministry of Labor and Employment, Government of India. On this unemployment front, how are we planning to mitigate? Of course, the youth is migrating, you all know that. We also export unemployed youth outside. That on the unemployment front, what is the strategy for mitigating it? 2, on the inflation front, day by day, it's becoming very harsh to live by for the common man. It's a high rate of unemployment in the economy. India and Kerala is having the highest consumer price index recently declared by the Ministry of Planning, Statistics and Planning Department. This on the inflation front, how do you mitigate? When you talk of investment, when you talk of large projects coming up, the inflation front, the cost of living is on the rise. It's very, very much hard pressing on that. That's very important.
Thank you. I think
one more aspect, that is on the governance side. We are talking ease of government, but the cost of government, the cost reduction side, our becoming burden of governance, cost reduction, we must feel the economy becoming more efficient by reducing the cost of government. There, in this front, what do you propose?
Thank you. I'll request either Jayatilak or Mohammed Hanish to start, and then after that, maybe the others would like.
I'll take up inflation first. As you're aware, the inflationary pressures in the Indian economy is pan-Indian. It's not that a particular state experiences higher inflation. Regarding unemployment, it is absolutely right that our educated unemployed youth need to be retained here. 2/3 of the Kerala economy is now served by the service sector. And it is the service sector that's going to be an engine of growth. We can retain them if we ensure that this summit succeeds and investments comes in, more jobs are created, entrepreneurs are respected and honored and supported to expand their businesses, to absorb this additional manpower that is coming out from our schools and colleges. Regarding governance, we are on track to reduce our fiscal deficit. The medium-term fiscal policy that we announced, we have been able to meet all our targets. I know there's a long way to go to reach the best favorable figures, but our trend shows that we are on the right track.
Mr. Mohammed Hanish, would you like to add to that?
The question is quite pertinent about the leaner, meaner mode of governance. A great deal of discussion has always taken place about it. But at the same time, a counter question arises. If you are leaving greater sectors of decision making and governance, or rather spaces, to the market forces to decide, what about the social sector that's to be taken care of? Secondly, of course, the infusion of science and technology and a greater deal of reduction in terms of the human contact can reduce the cost of governance. Coupled with it, the delicensing, deregulation, and a greater deal of easing of the compliance burden can certainly lead to lesser deal of interface between the government and the various productive sectors of the economy. This is very important. I think this is where ultimately every developing society has to look forward to.
Thank you. Would any of our friends from business like to add? Anyone? I leave it open to. Yeah.
So I will just touch upon from CI's perspective. So what we believe is in Kerala, instead of having job seekers, let us have job providers. So in CII, we have just done the visioning exercise where there was a need to handhold 1,000 micro enterprises. And CII has come forward to handhold small micro entrepreneurs and startups. And in fact, this was launched by the Honorable CM yesterday in the CI meeting. Now coming to the inflation part, the only way we can do is increase competition and improve productivity. Look at speed of implementation things. So thereby we can reduce our cost, and this will one way of reducing cost and giving a better product to the consumer. And yeah, these would be my thought process on this. And on governance, in this again, in the same visioning document, what we said is, you remember many years back for passport, we had to stand in a long queue. But once the TCS took over, it becomes a very seamless process. So what we are suggesting is, yes, there is a drive from Kerala on e-governance, but can we speed up that process by bringing technology and expert people on the field to do entire e-governance working along with the government? These are a few thoughts we have highlighted in that vision document. Thank you.
Thomas John, would you like to add to?
According to me, if more industry comes, more opportunities and employment comes. So it's like chicken or egg first.
What Thomas said is correct, because unless until there is a growth, they will not be able to stop the unemployment, and we have to grow bigger, because today a lot of industries are coming into Kerala on a positive note, and they are building a lot of new, especially in IT sector and in tourism. As yesterday, Minister P. Raji was talking about 51 five-star hotels in Kerala. That's a small state holding a 51 one. So okay, 52 ITCS yesterday confirmed. So there are a lot of new things are happening. So we wait for the new things to happen and be positive about it.
So I've just been informed the good news that we have 10-15 minutes more. So there's more questions from the house. Can you please ask?
Sir, good afternoon.
There's a question there, please. Let's give them a chance. Yeah.
I am Selva Sundararajan from Madurai, Tamil Nadu. I am a small scale entrepreneur, that means service exporter, government registered TOT trainer, and mentor in Startup India, Startup TN. I am having my small feedback or suggestion to you. Various other governments like Rajasthan, Assam, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra are conducting their road shows in Tamil Nadu for providing the awareness for the global investment meet. But till now, as per my experience, the Kerala government didn't conduct any road shows in Tamil Nadu.
മുന്നാണ്ടിൽ ഇത് കോയമ്പത്തൂരിലും ചെന്നൈയിലും വന്ന് 2 റോഡ് ഷോ നടത്തിയിருக்கு.
Sir, for this program.
This program, and it was attended by something like 250 persons in Chennai and 50 persons in Coimbatore. We will come to Chennai again. വീണ്ടും പാർക്കണം.
No, I will add on. So CIA was part of the delegation. We were along with them. So like Sir said, we had been to Chennai, we have been to Coimbatore, Bangalore, Dubai, and all the way to Davos.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Next question, please.
Sir, good afternoon. My question is to Mr. Jayatilak. Sir, Kerala, as we discussed for the past 2 days, we have made tremendous achievements in the past. But did we fail in marketing ourselves to bring the investors to Kerala?
You hit the nail on the head. The response we have been hearing for the last 2 days is that we are not making sufficient noise. If the success story in selling God's own country, if the success story of the tourism department had been replicated as far as investors were concerned, we would have already become heaven's own paradise as far as investment is concerned. You are absolutely right. We need to make more efforts in ensuring that the successes, the silent successes of our industry, our entrepreneurs here, is known to the whole world. We would need brand ambassadors. Just as we had brand ambassadors in tourism, we would need brand ambassadors in the industry to tell them they could do well in Kerala. Please come and replicate our success.
Thank you. I would like to hear Hanish sir's opinion also, sir.
See, these road shows, the discussions, the conclaves will definitely continue. It's ultimately, as I said, told our friend from Tamil Nadu that he didn't know about ourselves coming into Tamil Nadu and meeting at least 10 consul generals in Chennai, apart from having an audience of 250 important persons over there. We need to take it forward. It has to be a sustained process. But ultimately, it's the word by mouth publicity also which serves better. 10 investors speaking good things about Kerala reaches 100 more investors. I would also request my non-resident Indians, non-resident Kerala specifically, to spread whatever is good about the state and try to minimize on whatever is not so good about the state. This is most essential. Whenever we go to foreign countries, we see 100 bad comments being made. But at the same time, why don't you take a resolution today that speak good about the state in public and tell us something that is not so good about the state in private. Kindly do that. It's my experience in Dubai, it's my experience in Muscat, it's my experience in Riyadh. So our brothers and sisters have to really cooperate so as to ensure that this state ultimately becomes a paradise for investment. We will take our steps from our side, but kindly do that little thing from your side as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
I am a mold maker from Pune. I manufacture plastic injection molds. Yeah, the best mold makers in India come from Kerala because we have very good institutes like NTTF, KTTC. This is, and most of the mold makers are out of Kerala. So one way for Kerala to 2047 forward would be to get the mold makers back in Kerala. That's an untapped potential, a big, huge potential.
Yeah, I think I'll just give a quick response. The guy who asked the question is Kora. He runs a very sophisticated tool room in Pune. It's called Craftsman Tools. He makes very sophisticated tools both for domestic market as well as for export. And Kora's experience, as confirmed by almost every other tool making, sophisticated tool makers anywhere in India, is most of the tool makers are Malayalis from Kerala. And the reason for that is because of very early step taken to set up the Nettur Technical Training Foundation near Kannur, NTTF, which was started by some missionaries. And they set up this tool room, this training center, which trained the tool room engineers of all of India. So the good thing when I heard that from Kora, I told him, Kora, you come back, you set up something in, now he's setting up, he has just completed his factory in Walayar and he'll be commissioning it very soon. Thank you. So I think this is a very good suggestion that he has made. We have had a historical advantage. Yeah, Sri Kumar, please.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. Just wanted to add on to what you said in your introductory words. Many of the questions that were raised in this last 45 minutes, I would say that we are sitting on a gold mine 200 kilometers south of here in Vizhinjam, which opens up the whole world before us. So this is an opportunity. This forum, it should be loudly heard by the potential investors here. We can get into discrete manufacturing. We need to look outward. Either we can import goods, add value and export to across the world. We can produce here, use our resources, and the whole world is our market. Situated at the deep south of India, accessing the Indian market will be a tough task for us. But now Vizhinjam is connected to 6 continents across the world, which none of the Indian major ports can claim that advantage. So with this unique advantage that we have today, we can really have a large-scale development of manufacturing ecosystem down here.
So I think, so like you said, Vizhinjam is a gold mine, and we should really take advantage of it, especially the port-led industries. In fact, our neighboring state has already identified the potential of it, and yesterday during the CM's interaction, they requested, can you build good highways for them till Tamil Nadu? So that is the kind of potential that we are all seeing. But I think let's think together, all work together, and take the full advantage of it.
Viju, can you, because you're a big exporter.
Yeah, because definitely what you said is correct, because we need more vibrant decisions to be made. At the same time, I would say we are not touch base upon tourism. Tourism is a big sector actually, because like Munnar, Thekadi, and all these good areas that we have. But one of the meetings I was suggesting that put up a cable car from Adimali to Munnar. So it would be exciting for everyone, because it's like if you go to Malaysia or somewhere, you can see Genting Islands, and you can go by cable cars. So seaplanes, these are things that has to come in. So the problem is, most of the time when it comes in, there'll be a lot of, the people are not happy with what the government decisions that are taken. But you have to support the government, you should support the people who are coming and investing in Kerala.
Yeah.
Thomas?
In our situation, most of our raw materials are, it's in the freeze conditions, and even our finished goods, or some of the finished goods also, we have to keep in a very, very controlled temperatures. So today, when we are getting the material, always two places, it's coming as transshipment. So, when it is coming from US, some raw material, or Japan, it takes almost 1 month to reach here. And I'm very happy that this Vizhinjam port, which is coming here, definitely with a one transshipment, we will be able to get the products or raw material, or same way we can export our products also to the world. And it is a very great opportunity for us.
And your voyage time is much less. If you get the mother vessel comes in, it's only 18 days to Felixstowe or Hamburg. But whereas when you're going for a feeder vessels, it takes 35-45 days.
So I think here one very important lesson, just to take off from here, we have to really think about what Mr. Srikumar just now mentioned about Vizhinjam port. That is, how do we take advantage of this? Because, like was pointed out, the Tamil Nadu government is already, there is, like somebody said in a very, I don't know how far that is correct, but in Nanguneri and all those areas, land price is already going up. That is across the border. To use this brilliant port which has been commissioned, people in Tamil Nadu are already, the land price is going up there. Now we have to, I think our entrepreneurs here in Kerala have to, this is for the entrepreneurial community, for the business community to take full advantage of, not just setting up somewhere nearby, but to use this port for sending their cargo out and for getting their cargo in, because your costs are going to come down just because of Vizhinjam Deep Water Container Terminal. Yeah.
Hi. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Surendran. Climate change intensifies.
Yeah, please go ahead.
What are the measures we have to take for way forward for 2047 for a carbon neutral economy?
Carbon neutral economy, essentially the kind of accruals in terms of economics that comes about as a result of the adoption of the carbon neutral concept, and also the adoption of the various standards. Kerala government, in a pioneering step, has taken into reality the first carbon neutral coffee park, which has been christened Malabar Coffee in Wayanad. This is a beginning. More than that, it's about ultimately the transformation of the various industries and various trade sectors to carbon neutrality concept. But then there is something else which comes in the picture. How do we avoid the losses, the financial losses which may come about if you are to adopt such new practices? The credits that come in, the incentives that come in, need to be clearly matched with the investments and the initiatives we make in making a concept or a product carbon neutral. So quite a lot of studies, a lot of initiatives are to be taken. Thanks. He was asking the question.
Hello. Since our Principal Secretary, Ms. Mohammad Hanif sir, has mentioned about the promotional activities outside Kerala, because see, I would like to add that we, the agencies like INMEC, Indo-Gulf and Middle East Chamber of Commerce, was instrumental to hold different types of meetings in different locations, especially in UAE and GCC countries, with the presence of our Principal Secretary himself about the explaining about the policies, the new industrial policies and the facilities what what Kerala is offering. And we had got a very good participation also. And after that, I understand there were a lot of inquiries came to him. So similarly, we had conducted the Salute Kerala meeting in Kerala also. That was also to explain one policy, that the industrial policy, which was not known normally to the public. This is very clear because whenever there is a function organized in that program only, this is being published or this is known to the public, the industrialist. So it is happening, and I would compliment that the government along with other agencies are also doing similar thing for promoting Kerala.
Good afternoon, Namaskaram. My name is Shobna Jay Madhavan, and I'm the current president of the British Columbia India Business Network. And I'm a proud Keralite. I grew up in Kerala, and after 30 years, I've just come back to Kerala about a month ago. And I just wanted to say I appreciate being here. This is my first summit since returning back to my motherland. Just out of sheer ignorance more than anything, I'm curious how women and youth are involved in planning for Kerala 2047, the way forward. And you made a comment about the difference between a developed and developing country is in developed countries, people take public transit. I loved it because I take KSIDC to go to Palakkad to visit my mom, and people think I'm crazy. But one of the things I just wanted to comment is that a lot of experts here have talked about technology and inclusion and disruption. I want to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart, because my background is social work. If we don't pay attention to social cohesion and social issues, I believe that all the progress we make will come crumbling down. And while we talk about the disruption in financial industry or education or health, we often, because of taboos, don't talk about disruptions happening in the social realm, in family life, in what goes on within the home. So I would like to know what is the leadership, what is the vision for Kerala on these fronts? Thank you.
Kerala is the only state which brings out a gender budget as part of its annual financial statement. We just released a budget on February 7th, and along with that, we brought out the research and development budget, an environment budget, a gender budget, and a citizens budget. So in the gender budget, every department's allocation for the women and children is clearly spelled out. Secondly, you must have known about our Kudumbashri initiative. That initiative succeeded because women had a role to play in the decentralized planning exercise. A certain number of seats were mandated as reserved for women, and they are heads of so many local bodies. So they have a very, very powerful role in decision making. So I think these are the two main important steps, the role of the state government in ensuring a gender budget and the role of the local self-government in ensuring that women are involved in decision making of creating micro plans and the plans for their local bodies at every stage.
Hello. Hello. Good evening, everybody. I would like to introduce myself as one of the leading consultant and coach, that means industrial coach in Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Bahrain, Oman, everywhere. My operation spread to everywhere. I am planning to set up one center here in Kerala to give the training and coaching for the startup unit. Shall I continue? Okay. I am planning to set up a unit for giving training and coaching for the industries. Industrial training, skill sharing, skill developing, and all those things my office will be provided.
Do you have a question?
Question?
Yeah, what is the
Okay,
question?
what way you will help me to set up a unit over here to give the training to the Kerala youngsters to start up the factories?
We will have a detailed discussion later.
Yeah, that
okay. And then we will certainly strive to provide a realization of your aspirations.
Okay, I'll come to your office and
Sure,
give you all the
thank you.
details.
So we are ready to, yes, wind
So
up.
thank you. I would like to thank the panel for what has been a very stimulating discussion. I would also like to thank I'm sorry, but the time is over. I've just been informed the time is over. So I'd like to thank the audience for patient listening and for asking some very probing questions. I'm sure there must have been many more questions. But at least I hope that what we heard here in the last 1 hour gives us a lot of food for thought in thinking about the future. It's time that we we need to spend much more time thinking about the future. I think on that note, I will thank the panelists for their participation in this session. Thank you all.
Mr. C. Balagopal, we also request you to present our tokens of appreciation to all the members of the panel, starting with Dr. Viju Jacob, Executive Chairman of Synthite Industries. Yes. A token of appreciation is being presented to Dr. Viju Jacob. Mr. Thomas John, Managing Director of Agape Diagnostics. Mr. Vinod Manjala, Chairman of CIA Kerala, as well as Director of Manjala's Food Tech. And to Dr. A. Jayatilak, IAS, Additional Chief Secretary of Finance. I'd also like to quickly invite on stage Dr. Venu Vasudevan, former Chief Secretary, to present. So I request you to stay for a moment. To present a token of our appreciation to Mr. C. Balagopal, our own Chairman, who steered this conversation with such gusto. And we request you, gentlemen, to pose for one final picture, all of you together, please. Thank you.